It's all right.
Is that a flip phone you're using?
Yes, it is.
Are you trying to be hipster or
No, no, I have no need for a smartphone. None.
Don't
what?
you sure about that?
Oh my God.
I've survived this long. My wife has one. We don't both need one. I'm very content with this.
Well, I guess you both don't need a car either, or
Wow. You both don't need to eat every day.
yeah. I mean, or shower.
Yeah.
Shower's overrated.
I could not live without a phone. As soon as I can put the chip in my brain, I'm gonna go for it.
And now it's time for us to digest the lowest rung of pop culture so you don't have to. You're tuned in to the all-new CultureCast. Hello everyone, welcome back to the all-new CultureCast. I'm Nick, and with me tonight is, of course...
Rick?
And Brian.
Yeah, we're back. We are back.
Just like the Ghostbusters, we're back.
Yeah, yeah.
Suck in the guts, guys. Suck in the guts.
As Brian had alluded to, we are going to be talking about Ghostbusters 2, the 1989 sequel to the 1984 classic movie, which I believe is a favorite of the three of us, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
Not mistaken.
Who doesn't love Ghostbusters?
Liars.
No friends of mine. I know that.
So,
Honestly, I want to meet someone who doesn't love it because I would love to know why they don't love it. That'd be an interesting conversation. I can't fathom what it would be.
especially the first one, because that first one's just
Ugh.
perfection.
It's as good as Back to the Future. I mean,
And I've maintained this comment that Back to the Future, and I'll throw Ghostbusters in there, but for different reasoning. But Back to the Future is probably the best example of a perfect movie.
Yep. Yep,
But,
exactly.
that's pretty widely felt. That's pretty widely believed that too. I mean,
The
I,
sequels are good, but that first one is just
yeah, it's just
masterpiece.
and it might be a lot of nostalgia, but I mean, when I was a kid, I had the toys. I watched the cartoon. I wanted to be a Ghostbuster. I had the backpack was a huge deal.
Yeah.
I had the trap was a big deal. It was just a phenomenon, you know.
I had all of those toys, and when I was in middle school or high school, we had a garage sale, and you didn't keep that stuff, so you sold them because you weren't playing with it. I have my original 4 Ghostbusters
Wow.
without the backpacks because they were destroyed, but I regret getting rid of all that stuff. That was
yeah.
such a great toy line. It was so
Mhm.
great.
All three of us had all the same stuff: the trap, the back, the pack,
Yeah.
the car.
I still have the Ecto 1.
You still do. That's awesome.
Wait, I
Wow.
might have it.
The original.
Yeah. Do I have it in here?
Kind of like a
I don't know
ghost.
if I have it in here, but wait, hold on. This is No, I don't have it in here, but I have it somewhere. And
We
one of
believe-
these days, I'm going to refurbish it and make it look all like a nice display piece. But that'll happen in 2089 or something. But
Awesome.
When you get time.
when I get time, yeah. So on this show, we did a Ghostbuster episode way back, where we talked in general about the franchise. But tonight we're going to talk specifically about Ghostbusters 2, and I'm sure we'll dip into some other things with the other parts of the franchise because it's all interconnected. And I gotta say, let me just start out by asking you guys in general, Ghostbusters 2, what's your general opinion of it? Because this movie, it's not controversial the way the 2016 movie was, but it definitely has its detractors and people who like it, people who don't like it. Where do you guys fall on the spectrum?
Um, I would say I like it a lot. Maybe it's not as great and as classic and as well put together as the first one, but I think it's a great movie. And honestly, until I looked up some reviews, I didn't know anybody really hated the movie. You know, it seems like there's a lot of people who are, disappointed by it. I mean, I guess Siskel and Ebert, they gave it, worst movie of '89 when it
Yeah.
came out.
That's
Which I
crazy.
don't think it deserves that at all.
That's a little overkill. I know Ebert had an infamous review where he saw the movie in a packed theater and he said the people only laughed once during it,
Mm.
which is yeah.
Out of curiosity, what is some of the criticism? Because I didn't look that up, and I like the movie quite a bit, to be honest with you. Minus the Statue of Liberty thing, which I think just takes it a step too far. The whole, walking down the street and all that. But beyond that, I think it's a good movie. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
The biggest criticism that people say is it's a retread of the first movie, which I have to agree 100% with that. But
Well, sure, but people are upset if the sequel's too different, and they're upset if it's too similar. I mean,
Right.
you gotta strike that middle ground. With the thing with me, Ghostbusters 2 is a movie I grew up with. I watched it a million times. It's tattooed in my head the way the first one is. But and I like it for the most part, but I honestly don't think it's that good of a movie overall. And I have notes that I have on paper.
You came prepared. Well, for me to prepare, I watched Ghostbusters 1 and 2 back to back today.
Whoa.
So, in a row without stopping. So I could see if there was a difference in tone, feeling, jokes.
What's it like to have nothing to do?
Great. I love it.
Hashtag quarantine 2020.
Yeah.
One of the things and I can't take total credit for this summary here, but one of the things I had read, and I'm just copying it directly here, they said that both movies are pretty much this. They start out as washed-up scientists who no one believes, get successful after busting ghosts for a huge jerk. There's a ghost-busting montage. Venkman romances Dana, who's being terrorized by a household appliance. The team is harassed by a snobby government official who gets them arrested, until they're unarrested by the mayor after a ghost hole opens up in the sky. This is followed by a ghost rampage montage, resulting in a third act finale where a huge mascot stomps through the city. It prompts the Ghostbusters to shoot their guns into a portal and saves the day while all of New York celebrates.
I mean,
which movie did I describe?
It is very true. It repeats the same beats a lot. My understanding is that they were in a little bit of a rush to put this movie together. Like, there was a long delay, right? There was like 5 years between the movies, and I guess there were a lot of people who didn't want to make a second one. They thought that the story was pretty much finished in the first one. There was no further story to create, and I think the script and the shooting was all put together very quickly. I watched a review where they pointed out that there's not a lot of complex shots in the movie. There's a lot of very still images, as though they were in a hurry to shoot it.
It does seem very TV shot.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah. The production of this movie is so fascinating. You kind of hit the nail on the head that this was a rush production when it should not have been a rush production.
Yeah.
Like, no one wanted to do a sequel until they all got together and said, let's just do a sequel. And they're like, great, we want it out in like a year. And they're like, okay. And I honestly think, even if they had like the same beats in the movie the way the first one does, like, there are things in the movie that just don't mesh well together, that it becomes inconsistent. And I won't get into that, but it's if that was the only issue, that was just had followed a similar structure, I don't think it would have gotten as dogged in reviews at the time, but I don't know.
Well, first of all, if we kind of break into acts, we could just start with Act 1. I like the idea that there's been a lot has happened to Ghostbusters in the last 5 years. Basically, there's really no more ghosts around, because there were really no ghosts barely when they started. It was
before,
all because of the Zool thing that the ghosts showed up, and they obviously beat that in the first movie, so there were no ghosts. They were getting sued by the city, and basically they ran out of money. So everyone started going off their own ways. Egon's a scientist again. Murray's got his own unsuccessful TV show, which is very characteristic to him. And then the other guys are just, one's got a book, Ray's got a bookstore. They're doing the birthday parties. Nobody cares about the Ghostbusters anymore. I mean, it's funny, it's believable for me.
The beginning part of the movie really works for me. I do like when they're just trying to get by and doing what they're doing.
Doing their own thing, yeah.
Yeah, like that part works for me. Even the He-Man gig, like who are you gonna call?
He-Man.
He-Man. That's funny, but it's a weird, out-of-date reference for 1989. Supposedly it was a reference to how Ghostbusters and He-Man were direct competitors in the cartoon back in the day or something like that. But
before the second movie.
In between the two movies.
Interesting.
So it's a weird, obscure kind of reference. But again, for 89, that's weird because the cartoon had been off for years and the toy line had been dead for a few years at that point.
Maybe it was just something they owned and they could use. I mean, maybe they couldn't say Turtles or something, So.
Turtles may not have been big by the time GB2 was filming, so who knows?
Yeah.
That would be baller if they did mention Turtles. Although I loved He-Man too, so.
Yeah, but that doesn't stick me. That's just funny.
No, that's just a weird observation I had. That's just a weird observation.
It's good humor, and I guess it's hard to make an interesting movie when at the beginning of your movie all your characters are successful, they know what they're doing, and where do you go from there? You know what I mean? This is kind of like the latest Star Wars problem, right? Rey is so powerful. What do you do? Problem. How do you build them up? So kind of breaking them back down and then building them up in a new, different way, I think it makes it exciting again. But again, it is a retread as well. You know what I mean? They're having to figure this all out again, fresh.
What else could they have done? I mean, some of the ramifications they're going through makes sense, right? The city is trying to give them a big bill for all the stuff they destroyed. There's no more ghosts, right? So it's like, what was that? Were there really even ghosts? I mean, there's probably disbelief there too, because after that first movie, where'd everything go?
That's the one thing I had a problem with, and I remember having a problem with this in when I first saw it as a kid, because it never made sense how no one believes in ghosts anymore, even though there was like pure documented footage of a giant ass marshmallow man.
Yeah, but I mean, people think the Earth is flat, COVID's a fake, 5G is a problem. I mean, people are nuts, man. You know what I mean? So to a certain extent,
you believe? I don't know. I guess I don't know if you're outside of New York, but like, if it wasn't for the giant ass marshmallow man.
Yeah.
That's hard to like just imagine.
It's hard to dismiss. Yeah, it's hard to.
I mean, you have to suspend disbelief a little bit. I mean, just the fact that there was, a 100-foot marshmallow man walking around New York, and we're talking about that, we're upset that we can't believe that people forgot about that. I mean, you know what I mean? You gotta just kind of go with the flow a little bit for that, I think.
I guess if it was like one person, like if it was just the judge or something like that, but I feel like like a lot of people in the beginning of that movie were like, no, ghosts aren't real. Nope, you're an idiot. The director of Ghostbusters Afterlife told Ray that he was full of bullshit.
Yeah.
Fun little cameo there, but who knew? But so
during Act 1 as well, so the Dana's baby stroller runs over some goop that's come out of the ground, and it begins to move on its own and stops in the middle of a street. So when the Ghostbusters are investigating, they go to that section of the street, and they're sensing like really high, energy or spook meters or whatever, right? So they decide to start digging in the ground. That that was hilarious. They're acting like they're working for Con Ed. The police are pulling up. They're trying to fake them out, and then they realize they need to lower somebody in. So they lower Ray down into the sewer. I thought I loved all that as a kid. I love it now. It's so fascinating.
Very
Him
good.
going down there and seeing these old abandoned like
Subway.
stations and stuff. It was really neat, and all that slime down there. I mean, it was cool.
It was a neat idea, and this movie has a ton of great ideas in them. Like the River of Slime being this collection of like negative energy.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating idea.
Especially for New York.
Yeah, it's New York in the 80s. Oh my God, this is a shithole. But
It's like Chicago.
yeah.
Well, the other thing that I learned is that originally when they wrote the script, it was going to be that Dana was going to be kidnapped. I think we're going to go to like Europe somewhere.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
original draft was really weird and different.
But they also had the negative energy idea, and they figured, well, New York's probably the best place for that. Let's just keep it in New York for the negative energy portion.
One of the early drafts that is on a Ghostbusters fan site that I read about a year or so ago, and then I reread it just recently.
I'll be fascinated to hear some of the differences.
The let me double check. Spook Central is the website, and they have multiple drafts. But the one I was reading was from allegedly dated August 5th, 1988, which is scary late given when the movie came out less than a year later. And it has the same similar plot line. Dana was not in it. It was a new love interest. It wasn't slime underneath. It was just psychomagnet energy. So, a little bit more intangible. But like the beginning section of the movie happens a little more naturally because like the Lane Walker is the female romantic lead. I think they wrote it like that because they weren't sure if they were going to get Dana Barrett or Sigourney Weaver back to do a sequel.
Yeah.
And she approaches Venkman because she knew he was a former Ghostbuster because she's concerned about things with her kid. And Vigo's not a painting. He's this sorcerer guy who has lived many lives, who's actually the father of what would become Oscar, and he needs the baby to live on. And it's a fascinating read because it's a lot of the same beats are there. And there are things in there, the early draft, that they took out of later drafts, which I don't know why they did that because it explains certain elements of the movie. Like, for example, how Lewis, like 2/3 of the way through the movie, all of a sudden wants to be a Ghostbuster. Kind of comes out of nowhere, but in the early draft of the script, he shows that he kind of like admires the Ghostbusters. Like, oh, I wish I was like a man of action like that. They had like they had like little things that sort of like flesh out this stuff, and it's weird that they took some of it out. I mean, I'm glad they went with the painting, Vigo the painting.
Yeah.
Because that's a Ghost in a Painting is so creepy and so cool. I like that. But I'll send you guys the link. The early draft is very fascinating, the things they changed and the things they kept. But like the Statue of Liberty, for example, was a bad person. Like Vigo was controlling it, and it was like chasing the Ghostbusters through New York. And they had to blow it up at the end of the movie.
That's probably not going to work.
No, but I'd rather some mystical force making it move versus slime on it. That seems, again, I don't know why that seems less believable to me than some mystical force turning into like a real person that can move versus, slime. I don't know.
It is a little weird. I still like it though. And they're controlling with a Nintendo controller, however that's working. I don't know, but I mean, the beginning, the last movie had the Stay Puft, so you have to have some big climactic thing to beat that. Yeah. And instead of it being negative, they want something to go through the city to get everybody like
fired up,
patriotic or whatever, feeling good, to convert the energy or whatever. The one thing that I think is hard for a movie like this is how do you kind of get the band back together, right?
Mhm.
Like, how do you bring in, Dana Barrett and then, the other two minor characters? What were their names again? Janine and
Lewis.
Lewis. How do you bring them all back together? But this movie did a good job of doing that. They're like, all right, well, we'll have Dana Barrett have a baby. There's a problem with the baby. That's how we'll get her in. Lewis ends up like being like their lawyer because they can't afford a lawyer.
He's their accountant, I think. I think he's
He is their accountant, but he ends up being their lawyer for when they're in the courtroom.
Right, which I love that part of the movie, the courtroom.
Oh, that was great. That was hilarious.
It's a good bit. Yeah, it's a good sequence.
It really was, and it's so fun because he's going around talking about taxes, like he's trying to put the baby to sleep and telling it a story and talking about how the seven dwarves are doing some sort of tax thing or they have a limited liability company or whatever, and it was very interesting, very funny.
It's weird how they made Janine like a horny sex cartoon. In the first one, she was like super reserved.
Well, she was sitting on Egon in the first one. I mean, she was.
Well, hitting on Egon and like throwing herself at Lewis are like two very different. I don't know. Maybe she just saw the baby and was like, "I need something in me right now."
Yeah, it was a bit extreme, but it was funny. She looked a lot different, acted a lot different. I think they were trying to get her to look more like the cartoon, because this is one of the things I was reading too, is that when the movie came out, it was a very adult movie. It was not really designed for kids. The cartoon came later, the toys came later, the obsession with kids came later, and Ghostbusters 2 came out, and they changed some things to try to fit the cartoon, fit the kids a little bit better. So I hope we didn't ruin it or anything like that, but Janine had to look more like the cartoon. Winston had to shave his mustache. The slime had to be different color.
What color was the slime in the cartoon? I honestly don't remember. Was it pink? Or was it just different colors?
I don't know. But the slime that they sold was purple, and then that's what they had in the movie as well, as purple slime.
Really good point, Rick. I mean, that's the crux, I think, of the issue with this movie. That it's a marketing ploy. They made a movie around selling toys, right? And the first movie was so great about it. What I love watching now is that they swore in it, they smoked in it, whatever. And I really think that they purposely took that stuff out of the second movie. They purposely wrote it in a way that things like that weren't in it, so it was more kid friendly, and that is frustrating.
It like the first movie had like dark humor, it was kind of cynical, and then the second one was more of a family comedy, and even the music in the first one's dark and mysterious and creepy, and the second one's more like more bubbly in some ways. I mean,
this movie has some dark stuff in it too. I mean,
it does, but
they go down to that underground. They're walking along the train tracks that are abandoned.
Yeah.
That was a pretty scary moment where they all of a sudden face off against all these disemboweled heads, and then the train comes and runs it over, and it was pretty creepy. I remember that really scared me as a kid.
Yeah, and then Dan Aykroyd's like, "Did you catch the name on that car on the train?"
No, I just missed it.
Winston is great.
And then Winston gets a lot more screen time in this. He gets, because he comes in like 2/3 of the way in the first movie. This one he's in there the whole time. That was good.
I wonder why they didn't call Winston to go down into the sewer pipes. I mean, that's not a criticism of the movie, just a curiosity.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't really back together yet at that point. They were just kind of following up on something. Winston, he was more like their employee versus like.
That's true.
Yeah.
Dana was a friend, and they're just doing a favor.
Right, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, they didn't know what was going on.
About this movie, kind of going back to the production, no one wanted to make a sequel to this because it was written to be a one-off. And in some ways, in some scenes, it feels like no one ever wants to be there. Like Bill Murray especially. He looks bored in this movie. When he's not with Sigourney Weaver, he just looks bored. Sometimes it's almost like he looks like he came to the set wearing his own clothes. And they're like, okay, here's the costume. He's like, nah, I'm wearing this. Like he doesn't wear the Ghostbusters suit until like the very end of the movie.
I think you've seen he was disappointed in it, and that's why he would never make a third one.
He was the big holdup of why number 3 didn't happen. And supposedly, if you believe this, they could not make an official third Ghostbuster movie unless all the main participants signed off on it, including Bill Murray.
Oh God.
And the reason they were able to make the reboot is because Sony was looking through the clause and nothing in it said that he had to sign off to do a remake or a reboot, which is how they were able to skirt the rules with that. I mean, eventually Murray signed on for a cameo because he's friends with Melissa McCarthy, but it was Hollywood contracts and Hollywood backstabbing. It's fascinating.
Yeah, right, so that's why I felt they could make the one with the women, the 2016 one, because of that.
Yeah, I mean they found a loophole in the Murray's contract, allegedly. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, but that's interesting. Why would he have that foresight to even put that in there? Like, you can't make a sequel unless I agree to it.
Because I don't think he wanted to do number 2, and I think he wanted to do number 2 being the last one, and so he got that in his contract. So if they wanted to do a third one, he could put a stop to it.
Huh. Well, why did they do it then? Why did they do? Why did any of them? Why did he do it? Money, maybe. Maybe
who knows? Maybe they were pressured enough into doing it. I don't know. But who knows?
What's Bill Murray's criticism of it? Do we know that? Like why he doesn't like it?
I don't know. Rick, did you read anything about that?
No, I didn't say anything specific.
Huh.
The other thing too is I feel like they don't go into the technology as much in this one as they did the first, and that was one of the things that was so fascinating was, them, they first build the backpacks and they're like, this is an unlicensed nuclear accelerator, and they talk about the trap and they show how they empty the trap into this containment system, and they don't even show really any of that.
They're not in the firehouse much in this movie.
Really, the only thing they make is the things that shoot out the slime.
The slime blowers.
How is that special? I mean, we could build that today. You know what I mean? The other technology.
Could we build that? I know I couldn't.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like we have no idea how all the other technology works. It's all mysterious, but something that just pushes out liquid. I mean, spray foam.
It's all silly string.
The car looked cooler. I mean, they updated the car. The car looked different.
Yeah, in the beginning it was run down, but when they got out of prison, right, that's when they updated it and they said we're back, basically.
Yeah.
But apparently, according to the new movie that's coming out, that's a whole different car now.
What's that?
The Ecto 1A, I guess, is a.
Yeah.
Suppose again, I don't know if they ever established it in the first movie or in Ghostbusters 2 if the Ecto 1A is an upgrade or if it's a brand new car, but
with a different license plate.
Yeah, but in the new movie, they find the original Ecto 1. According to the trailers.
Right, I just watched that.
I assumed it was the same car in the second movie, but I didn't remember that the license plate.
It looked like there was the original one. But, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
We'll find out in a year's time, maybe.
Yeah, they pushed it back, right?
Yeah. Because it's supposed to be out like a month ago.
That's crazy.
I hate to say this like this, but that may be the biggest downside, besides people getting sick. Not seeing Ghostbusters this summer may be the biggest bad part about COVID. Because, man, I was really looking forward to that movie.
It looks good. It looks good.
I have my reservations, but I'm not
It's
gonna lie.
better than the last reboot, so.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna see it. I'll buy the Blu-ray just like I did with the other ones to have my collection complete. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. I'm just owning up to it now.
Hmm.
Even if I hate it, I'll end up buying it because I have an issue. But
Well, I mean, do we know how much the characters are going to be? The original characters are going to be in this new movie in Ghostbusters 3.
they're not saying.
It might not be in it at all.
Here's my theory of what's going to happen is that they'll have the whole movie with all these new characters, Paul Rudd and the little girl and all that. And then the last 5 minutes, the original Ghostbusters will come up and be like, hey, you guys did a great job. You can be the Ghostbusters now.
Yeah, something like that.
Get ready for Ghostbusters 4 in a couple years.
I'll be fine with that. I think it's gonna be good.
I hope so.
Like a B.
I feel Ghostbusters is a completely tainted brand now, so I have toilet level expectations, so I have nowhere to go but up.
Well, that's a good thing then.
I hope so.
Well, it's just all the back and forth. It's all the teasing. Oh, there's going to be a movie. There's not going to be a movie. And then all of a sudden you get this teaser trailer with the car in the barn. Oh, there's a movie. It's actually happening.
Yeah, it's like where'd that come from?
It's like I feel like it's a Snyder cut all over again. It's just, is it happening? Not happening?
The Snyder cut, the other bad version of Justice League.
No, I have some. I hope it's going to be good. Anyway, that's another conversation.
I feel like one of the problems with Ghostbusters 2 is, I mean, I've almost run out of things to say already. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm trying to think, like, what else is really interesting about the movie to talk about? Again, I don't think it's a bad movie. I like the movie, but I'm just, like, sitting here going, like, trying to break it down. I'm like, what else really happened? I mean, the most fascinating parts were them going underground twice.
Going to jail.
They went to jail. The Vigo painting was interesting. I like the guy that he possessed.
Yeah,
the foreign guy.
Peter McNall's Janusz is probably the best part of this movie because
he's really funny.
He's totally into his character, and he's so over the top and ridiculous that it works.
He was really good. I mean, the commercials they produced as Ghostbusters were funny. I thought those were hilarious. The court scene was amazing. That was the best scene in the movie, probably.
The cartoony ghosts lose it for me. Like, I like that scene, but it's a little. They look too goofy to be taken seriously.
Interesting.
Yeah, but besides that, it was a really good scene. It was one of the few action scenes. There's not really that many action scenes in this one,
There wasn't a lot in the first Ghostbusters either, if you think about it.
No, but I mean, when they go the whole hotel scene, you got to see them like use it. It was very funny, Like this movie's hotel scene is basically the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they get their equipment back. The hotel, they use equipment for the first time.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, there's just not that much else to it, I guess, this movie.
No.
Well, I got some questions for you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Shoot.
So, what's the connection between the slime and Vigo? It's never really explored. It seems like the slime was already there. The city knew about it because if you remember the courtroom scene, like, yeah, I never saw this before. They put it there. But then no one seems to care about it. Like, the mayor doesn't even know about it. You think that'd be something you'd mention to the higher ups, like, hey, mayor, we got all this slime in the city. Should we take a look at this?
Yeah, I read that concern as well. I'm not really sure exactly the connection. I just assume that the more slime that's there, the more powerful Vigo becomes,
Like, is it just happenstance that Vigo came to a city that the slime was there? He's like, well, I'll take advantage of this, sure.
No, because there's a river of slime in the painting. There's some connection.
True.
There's
Yeah.
some connection to Vigo and the Slime River. They don't really make it clear, but
I wish they explored that because the slime concept is a neat concept, and the movie says it's because of all the negative energy, which is a great concept,
yeah.
but it was there before Vigo came. So
I wish
how?
they would have explored more of where the painting comes from. Like, I wish they would have shown like the painting being like, I don't know, uncovered somewhere secret, all dusty, and they're trying to fix it up, or is a painting 500 years old? Is it a newer painting and he just happens to be using it, as a
Right.
way,
I think they say the painting's really old and it was painted of this dude Vigo,
Yeah,
the Carpathian. It's an old painting, I think. I mean,
yeah.
It's old but sturdy because the Ghostbusters could shoot their proton wands on it and it won't get destroyed.
yeah, yeah, very true. But somehow,
Um,
we don't really talk about how he got trapped in the painting or he put himself in there just to
I'm guessing
live.
he put himself in there because he's like a wizard or something like that, or a sorcerer.
It was pretty creepy too how they went and took all the pictures of it, and then when they went and developed them,
Yeah, that's a great scene
the,
too.
the faces were different, and the whole thing caught on fire. That was
Yeah,
intriguing.
So why did Vigo want Oscar? Like he needs a child, and I
well,
have questions on that. But like, why do you have a hard on for like Oscar? Couldn't he just take any kid?
it wasn't so much Oscar. It was because it was his buddy that he took over. His buddy wanted Dana, so he's like,
Right.
I got a kid for you.
Yeah.
I think Jaunish, whatever his name is, brought
Kept
the baby idea that Oscar to Vigo.
Okay. Because like even
Versus,
Vigo was like giving Dana like, hey, like behind her back.
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
Also,
Uh,
no offense to any Oscars out there, but I hate that name, and every time I hear it, I kind of cringe. Like, any other name would have been better than that.
Not a weird name.
I hate that name.
Oscar the Grouch. He's a hero. But why did Vigo need to have a baby? Like, wouldn't he go into the baby and then have to like be raised? Like he's not gonna rule anything as a baby. And then you see he takes over Ray like that. Like, couldn't he
That's
just take over Janusz or something like that?
That's a bigger question. Why couldn't he just possess another body? Why
I
has it
feel
got
it's
to
a
be?
bad plan.
Yeah. I feel like the movie would have been better if they would have had taken the baby parts out. I think that kind of makes it a little too kiddie-ish.
A kid kills every movie.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't very entertaining. I guess maybe it was an excuse to get Dana back in and be connected. I mean, in the first movie, their bodies were possessed, you know what I mean? And that's why they were needed. So maybe they just thought, okay, let's just do another possession thing.
Yeah, but they could have gotten her involved another way. They could have done the painting thing. She works at the museum.
That's true.
I mean, Vigo just trying to get out of the paintings enough. Why has the kid got to be involved? Why can't it just be him trying to? There's got to be some more elaborate pieces to that puzzle. Why Howie's got to get out of the painting. But maybe that would be more of the story. That's how Dana's introduced, versus Oscar.
Yeah. I guess it's one of those things like the MacGuffin, like I need the thing in order to accomplish the thing. The thing is the kid. I need, what I mean? Because the movie is like, most of the movie is them trying to protect the kid, figure out what's going on with the kid. The kid gets taken, they try to get the kid back. I mean, you take that part out, and now you got a whole bunch of gaps you kind of need to fill in.
Right. Like, I don't know. I don't hate the idea of the kid. I think it makes an interesting dynamic between Dana and Peter's relationship. I like the fact their relationship failed, and then she went off, married someone else, and then he bailed on her. There's a fan theory out there that she ended up marrying the stiff from Ghostbusters 1.
First movie.
That's what I figured.
Never confirmed, but
at the same time, now we have a repeat from Ghostbusters 1 of, hey, I'm into you. Let me, try to, pursue you or whatever, just like the first one.
it's true. They could have already been together, I guess, or
Yeah.
I don't know. It does seem, I mean, and I hate saying this because you're going to want Sigourney Weaver in the movie because it's Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, she has another ghost who's attacking her again. That's
Yeah.
going to lead to. You know what would have worked, in my opinion? Because even at the beginning of the movie, the slime got Oscar's basket or buggy, and it just took off, which already
Right.
established a connection between Oscar and the slime. What I think would have been neat is if, like, maybe Vigo's like, hey, I need a baby or someone who's connected to the supernatural for me to get this transfer thing going. And then the reason why it's Dana is because she was possessed in the first movie, so she has that
Yes.
gene inside of her.
I like that. I could buy
She
that.
passed it on to her kid. She passed it on to Oscar somehow.
Yeah, it's just genetic, and then that's why, like, okay, that's the baby, because
That's an interesting idea.
Janusz can be like, I got the hots for Dana, have her be the one, but like if I was Vigo, I'd be like, just take that bum's baby off the side of the road there, just I don't care, just get a kid.
Right.
But I don't know.
That's an interesting point. They could have easily woven that in.
Yeah. It'd been just a quick line drop, even.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, this movie was definitely rushed, and what's sinful is that I've read stuff where Columbia was having a string of failures at the time, and a new head of production came in and said, I'm going to make a Ghostbusters 2. I don't care if this movie's good or bad. It will make us money. And that's such a cash-in reason to make a movie. I mean, every movie's meant to make money, but it's like, come on.
They made it no matter what. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's taking more time, that'd be great too. But, I'm definitely not upset that they did that,
Right. Like, I don't hate this movie. I really don't. But it's more disappointing than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to see the Ghostbusters back again. Like, it's cool to see those 4 characters interacting. It's fun.
Yeah.
Slimer should not have been in the movie, but they had to put him in because of the damn cartoon.
But he wasn't in a lot, though, right? I mean, he wasn't just a couple scenes.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's like he has this weird rivalry with Lewis, and like, why it's a weird plot line that goes nowhere.
Right. Yeah, with Slimer driving the bus, all that's stupid. That's cartoon. That's connected to the cartoon. That's all.
Yeah.
I guess there was a lot of scenes cut out. I didn't get a chance to watch any of the deleted scenes. I'm not sure if you know what they are, but there was a lot more Slimer deleted scenes. I know.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe they would have established it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, or made it worse. I mean, I could see Slimer driving the bus. That feels more right in the 2016 remake, not in. If you think of Slimer driving a bus in the first Ghostbusters movie, that's very out of place. Just like it's out of place in the second movie. It shouldn't be there.
Right. Although I didn't mind I didn't mind Slimer's use in the 2016 movie. That was one of the highlights of that movie for me. When he's like driving the car and he's like having like the party car.
That movie makes more sense to me. It feels like it fits better.
In the first movie, they showed like a dead taxi driver driving around. And I mean, so they were showing ghosts driving vehicles.
Yeah. I suppose that's true.
Yeah.
Just Slimer, just some green blob, and you don't really establish what he really is.
Yeah.
He's like in the first one, he's more like a menace, just obnoxious, gets in the way. The second one, he's the cartoon character, fun, lovable, likes to play games, and
right.
I don't know. And don't get me wrong, I love Slimer in the cartoon. Like, he was great, but.
Well, he was a pal of the Ghostbusters, right? I haven't seen that show in a long time, but
yeah, he was like their pet.
Yeah.
I didn't see him much in the sequel. All I saw of him was the bus scene, and I think one other scene he was in. Other than that,
montage.
I don't recall him being in there at all.
He's not in there much, but it's like he's in there randomly with no purpose other than, look, it's Slimer. Remember him, everyone?
Yeah.
Hey kids, he's in the cartoon.
Yeah, right.
Buy these toys.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked for me.
I tell you what, Dan Aykroyd has made a bundle on that one movie. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he kept the rights to the toys and stuff like George Lucas did.
Oh, I'm sure he gets a cut of all that.
Yeah.
I'll imagine something.
What did you guys think of the Ghostbusters 2 logo? The number 2.
I thought it was
Yeah.
fine for like the movie cover, but I thought it was a little strange that they actually showed it in world.
You're
Like
with the
Agreed.
sign.
the sign was actually 2 in the movie, and I was like, okay, that's a little weird. It should have been just for the cover of the box,
Right. Yeah.
of the movie, not in world.
I agree 100%.
Like there's no one in Star Wars going, well, this is a really crazy Star Wars, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would, you
Hey,
know what? All my criticism of the Disney movies aside, if like Ray or Luke or Poe did that, like this was a crazy Star Wars, and looks like directly at the camera, I'd be like, you win, Disney. Take all my money. You win.
that's it. It's all over.
Well, Star Trek has
They
done that a couple times, as we
they
know.
you're all
Yeah.
astronauts on some sort of Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's the first time I recall, First Contact.
yeah,
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
because the rest of the movie was pretty good, so you can get away with something cheesy like that, and the right character said it in there.
Sure.
What else do you have written down?
Um,
I like this like trivia pursuit.
right. Well, we covered a lot of the different stuff. It's weird that the Ghostbusters went into a psych ward just because. Like, oh, the mayor says he's going to the psych ward. Like, don't you need like paperwork and?
Well, it wasn't the mayor. It was the mayor's
Yeah.
assistant who was trying to
Right.
protect the mayor.
True, but he said it was on the orders of the mayor. Like, he lied.
And
You
they were
lied,
being
right.
evaluated. They said just watch him for a couple days.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, how do you get committed without cause? Like, as my background is in counseling, so I know it's just you just can't like drop someone off in front of a mental ward. Like, here, take them. It doesn't quite work like that. And I'm guessing the mayor was the one who got him out. Is that? Like,
Well, I think
that's
so.
what was implied.
What pushed him out? How did they get out? I forget. Something happened, right? And the mayor asked for him.
Yeah, well, the sky was covered with like the something. I don't know if it was supposed to be the slime or something. And the mayor's like, "Someone get me the Ghostbusters."
Yeah,
And then
right.
the next thing you know, they're leaving the station or leaving the psych ward.
Well, at the end of the movie, they get the keys to the city. So I mean, hopefully people won't forget them this time.
I don't know. Like in the trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife, they're like, "What's a ghost?" I don't know what
that was
ghosts are.
tacked away, I guess. So maybe it does happen again.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Well, then you buy a little more. It's been like 30 years,
Yeah.
and maybe hasn't been a sighting since. You can maybe buy that a little more than like 3 or 4 years.
Right.
I'm very curious, and again, we were only on one little trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife. If it's going to be one of those sequels that ignores like number 2 or something like that, because like all the imaging and all the stuff they're referencing the first movie,
Yeah.
and not, I mean, again, it's very little to go on, but I don't know, like if they'll like not like
What's there to
ignore.
reference from the second one besides Ecto 1A? I mean, what are you missing? I guess
I guess I don't know. I don't know.
there's nothing to miss. I mean, there's no reason to show those like spray foam cannons. So other than that, how would you know it was Ghostbusters 2 versus 1?
Well, that you have the 2 logo that's on their shoulder pads.
Right.
No, we're not doing that. We already discussed
Maybe
that.
they'll have a 3. It'll mysteriously have a 3 on there for no reason whatsoever.
No, we're not doing that either.
And then Melissa McCarthy will come up, and hers will have like the middle finger to on the Ghostbuster logo.
Jeez.
I can't. I hate that movie. I hate that worst
haven't
movie.
had a chance to play it, but I hear that the Ghostbusters video game, the new one that came out on like the PS3, PS4, had a lot of story elements that were gonna go into 3. Like the script had been written for 3, and they were supposed to fight like the devil or demon or something like that, and you do that in this game. I guess in the game they talk about where the slime came from in number 2, and There's
Yeah.
a lot of different story elements in this game, and we should try to play it one day.
Years ago I did play the game. I never finished it, but I've been really tempted to buy a PS4 now that the PS4 is coming to an end because
Mhm.
it'll be cheaper, and that might be one of the games I invest in. But I did watch a lot of the cutscenes from the video game,
Yeah.
and one of the things they establish is that somehow the Gozer's people, or yeah, Gozer's people, or Evo Shandor, or whoever, was the one who established the slime underneath the city, and Vigo just happened to take advantage of it. It's like, oh, this is here. I'll just take advantage of it.
Which,
But yeah, so
which
they do try to
makes sense.
they do try to
He
put the
could
two
just
of them
image it
together.
in painting. It could have been him as a magician, a sorcerer, just showing it in his painting. It didn't necessarily mean it was in his painting or it was from the past. To your point.
I mean, yeah, also it was a video game, so maybe they just wanted to be like, you know what? Let's just tie it all together. That'd be cool for the fans. So who
It helps
knows?
make sense because if it's been 500 years since this guy died, why now all of a sudden? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another good point. Like, death is but a door, time is but a window. I'll be back.
The only other thing
Yeah.
that I think that they could have done is, you know how like sometimes and this has really happened where like they'll find paintings and they'll do like special X-rays to the paintings to see what
Mm,
earlier versions of the paintings look like, or maybe it was a different painting or changed it or whatever. What if it would have been a painting of Vigo, but behind it was a slightly different painting, and that was the one that was magical, but it was like had been covered up or something like that. And as they clean it, they're maybe chipping away and trying to get to the second layer that's below.
Right.
That's what kind of releases the whole thing. That would have been maybe an interesting
oh,
premise.
Or they just found
that's
the
kind of
painting,
cool.
or it was hidden for a long time. They don't really say. They
Yeah,
kind of say it just in the basement
yeah.
or something to that effect, right? I don't know exactly what they say, but
Yeah, it was shipped in for like a special collection, I think. That's why Janusz was working at it himself because it was
uh,
like the prize thing from somewhere, but I can't remember what it was.
yeah. So that which makes no sense to your point. Why did he wait this long?
Yeah, right.
I mean, they could have talked about it. They could have been like, hey, this was sealed in a vault, and this is the first
Yeah,
time it came out, and we were able to get the exclusive rights to restore it and
something like.
something. Yeah.
It should have showed it being found or something like that. Kind of like, like at the beginning of like Jurassic Park, it starts off with them chipping away and pulling out the ember, and it kind of
Yeah,
starts like that. Something like that.
where they found the painting.
Right, exactly.
Well, here's the thing too we didn't talk about. Maybe for him to be released, he needed something, and the slime under New York was there, and that was something that he needed because he wasn't in New York. They just brought him to New York, and he was able to sense
That's what
that.
they just said the game said.
Well, yeah,
I
yeah,
figured
but
that.
That's what the game said.
well, the game implied that he just used the slime, but I think what you're saying, Brian, is that he couldn't do anything until he had that slime.
Right, or it could have been something else, but the slime was one of the things that
Yeah.
was able to release him.
Like he'd be like, I was waiting for 5,000 years, and then I come to this city, and it has the proper, I don't know,
Right.
evil energies to release me.
Something like that. Because he could have been somewhere like in Kansas. Or I don't know, or somewhere like where there's not a lot of high energy, angry people. Who knows where he was? You know.
Washington D.C. It's the calmest place on earth.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm trying to think of where this like fits with all their sequels. Like, you think about like, Alien to Aliens. I mean, both great movies. I think Aliens it's really took it to the next level. Terminator 2 really takes it to the next level. Indiana Jones is an interesting formula. I'm not as big of a fan of the second one as I am the first and third, but it's so different. So I mean, should Ghostbusters have done that, where they should just kind of really turn it on its head?
That'll be the experiment with the Afterlife, because it seems like that one's going to be a very different style of movie, which be curious to see how that plays out. It's just, what's interesting to me is that with Ghostbusters 2, they had like 5 years of cartoon episodes at that point.
Yeah.
And they had different plots for each one. I'm not saying they had to rip off a plot, but you would think the writers of the series would come up with something that didn't follow the same plot point structure of the first one
Right.
so much when I don't know.
No, I mean it's like it's not a bad movie. I like the movie. I'm glad it exists. But you look at all these other sequels to extremely popular movies and how well they did, you know.
Hmm.
And you look at Ghostbusters and you're just like you can't help but feel like a little bit disappointed, you know. Like it really didn't take it to the next level. You know, it was a bit more of the same, which is again not bad, but you kind of wonder like, what would that next level have looked like? Like, what would the Aliens or the Terminator 2 or the Back to the Future 2 of Ghostbusters have looked like? You know?
Right. Well, I mean, some would say Back to the Future 2 has its own problems and is as good as Ghostbusters 2 is. I mean, someone can make that argument compared to
Yeah.
the first one of those movies. You know, I think Judgment Day is the exception, not the rule. I mean, I think the fact that it was as good as it was is just such a rarity. I mean, I can't think of really any other sequel that's.
I mean, could you see? I mean, here's the thing though: is like imagine we didn't even know about Back to the Future 2 and 3, and you just saw number 1. It's a perfect movie. It has a beginning and end. I mean, it's amazing every step of the way, right? And then you had to write a sequel. I would be like, I don't know what I could write a sequel about. I mean, they do have like the end part where they're like, hey, someone's on with their kids, and it kind of has a jumping point or whatever. But you know, it's really like I have no idea what to write. And you could easily have seen somebody mess up and just kind of had another retry, like, oh, let's just go mess something else up and then have to fix that. You know, which they sort of have to do to
Well,
a
they
certain.
did.
I mean, but it's so.
It was
It's
different.
so
It was
different. It goes like it takes it to a whole new level of what's going on, you
Right.
know. And then this fascinating idea of how do you get the same characters back in, right? Well, now you can visit the mom, you know, in the future, and you can see future Biff, you know, his kid. You interact with like his kid, you know, instead of just old Biff. You mean like very interesting ideas in order to get the same cast back together, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. Good movie, could have been better.
Yeah, but you know what? It has some of the same humor, and I think you get enjoyment out of it like the first one. And that's what it's really all about.
You can look at it the same way I kind of look at Crystal Skull. Is that Ghostbusters 1 is great. Ghostbusters 2 is kind of like a victory lap.
Yeah.
But then, like Crystal Skull, we'll get a follow-up that is going to attempt to fix what went wrong
Yes.
previously.
So they say. We shall see. And that movie's been pushed back too, right? I mean, that was supposed to come out. Well, that doesn't mean next summer anyway.
That was supposed to come out like 10 years ago, I feel like. Every couple of years they say, it's coming out this year. No, we're pushed it back another year. We're pushed back another year. I'll
Well,
believe it when I see it.
I guess to me, Ghostbusters 2 is a lot like the RoboCop franchise a little bit, right? So a lot of people consider RoboCop to be like a pretty perfect movie for what it is. And then a lot of people don't really like the sequel that much, too. Everyone hates number 3, but I really liked RoboCop 2 a lot. So, you know, again, I guess that's again just another example of a hard movie to create a sequel to.
Well, that's the thing. Some of these movies they force a sequel, but they maybe just can't be done right. Maybe it's too hard. You know, there's too many expectations.
I got nothing else.
Yeah, I really can't think of anything to say anymore about it. You know, I guess that's one of the problems.
Remember when? What's that?
Oh, go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
I said, remember for my bachelor party, we went to that like burlesque Ghostbusters show?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That was somewhat disappointing. I was expecting it to be a little bit better. Which no, I'm not blaming anyone, but because it was the thing I pointed out, but yeah, Ghostbusters 2 was maybe better than that, but
Well,
it was still fun. I can't
I
I
forgot
can't
about
argue.
that. That was kind of a random thing. Where was that? It was some real small theater, right?
Yeah, down.
In the city somewhere. I don't remember.
Was
I
it
don't
all
remember.
Ghostbusters, or was there other things going on?
They had different shows. My wife and I previously went to that place. She's a huge Game of Thrones fan. They had a Game of Thrones burlesque show, and so we went to go see it. And that one was like tons of fun. I was like, oh, this is so much fun. And I heard they're doing a Ghostbuster. I'm like, yeah, let's go to that. And I don't know. It's like they phoned it in.
Hmm.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Who are you gonna call?
He-Man,
There you go.
Here you go.
You know.
the Gorilla Tango Theater. Sorry.
Yep, that's right. It was. Yep. Gorilla Tango Theater. Yep.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt that thought
Yeah.
process there. I had to know what the name of the theater was. So, any final thoughts on Ghostbusters 2 and its awesome theme song by Run DMC? I'm rolling my eyes right now because that theme song was terrible. Stick with the original.
I think my main takeaway from it is I'm glad it happened. I still rather have the movie than not have the movie.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
I mean, but if you, when's the last time you watched it, Brian? It was just a few weeks ago or something like. Wasn't that you say?
I've caught it on TV a bunch of times. I feel like I've seen it 1,000 times. It's probably been a month or so.
I mean, I feel like I probably wouldn't want to watch the movie for another 5 years. Yeah.
Just like in real life.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? When it comes on TV, I always watch it. I don't maybe watch the whole thing, but I always watch some of it.
My oldest daughter.
TV, when it comes on TV, what year do you live in?
No, when I'm looking at the TV and I'm looking at the guide, it's on, and I'll see it. Oh, I'll watch this. Here's what'll happen. If I see it on the guide, I go to it. If it's on commercial, I turn it off. If it's on, I'll sit and watch it. And if it's a good part,
no one uses the guide. No one sees commercials. If you pick something on the guide and you have it record, maybe you do that. Maybe you do that. You watch it and you fast forward through things. I don't do anything like that anymore. There's no guide looking at all. I haven't looked at the guide in like a year. There's no guide.
Aren't you Mr. Fancy Pants over here?
There is. You go on Netflix, you choose whatever's on there, you watch that. That's it.
Yeah, but you're choosing stuff on Netflix for like an hour and a half before you actually decide on something.
That's the problem.
That's right. If it's entertaining, then what's the problem? Sometimes picking is part of the fun.
There's a great Onion article from a few years back. Netflix to introduce a endless scrolling option. You can't actually pick a movie to watch. You just scroll through the whole thing.
Right.
I will say this. I'm going to end my thought on my oldest daughter, who's about 2.5 now. She loves watching Ghostbusters. Like, we'll have on first one or second one. Haven't had the reboot on, but if it's on, like, she'll just sit there and be like constantly entertained and just be watching it. Like, one time I had to take her up for nap time, so we were going upstairs to like read and then go to bed, and it was on TV, and her head was like continually turned trying to watch as much as she could before it was out of view. And it's like, all right, well, we got a Ghostbuster fan over here.
That's interesting. Like, I wonder what's it about that movie versus any other movie, you know?
It was 1 and 2. Like, it didn't matter. I don't know. So she was just, I guess, I don't know.
That's good, though.
She's picked up my genes, I guess.
I like it.
That's great.
So.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's close this turd up here. And Brian, Rick, thanks for joining tonight on Ghostbusters.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to try to do a Rise of Skywalker here anytime in the near future.
Oh, God.
I still haven't seen it. Come on, Rick. Let's watch it and do it. Let's watch it and talk about it.
Oh God, it's painful, man. It's
Can't be
really
that
painful.
bad.
It'll be cathartic.
Did you
Okay.
watch? Did you watch The Last Jedi? Did you?
I'm gonna watch the last two again. I've only seen them once. I'm gonna watch those on Disney Plus, and then I'm gonna watch the third one with you.
All right, fine. Fine. It's gonna hurt, but I'll do it.
Well, we'll save that discussion for another day. But this has been the All New Culture Cast. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. You've been listening to the All New Culture Cast. We try to post new episodes every Monday evenings 3 to 4 times a month. Check out our backlog. We could be found at allnewculturecast.libsyn.com. You can also find us on Apple iTunes and wherever else podcasts can be downloaded and listened to. This has been the All New Culture Cast, a Saltwater production. Original material copyright 2020. Thanks for listening. Columbia was having a string of I'm failing right now.